Today we're doing a game review and we're going to be checking out Railroute, a simulation game that focuses on scheduling train arrivals, departures, buying new stations, and becoming a railway tycoon. I was given a copy of this game early to review, but I will not accept any games to review where I cannot state my own true opinions. So with that, let's get into it. And let's start with the graphics. Railroute is, to put it elegantly, simple. They don't throw a bunch of flashy, in-your-face assets to try and get your attention, and as such, the game ends up looking like a very uninspired circuit board at times. However, this simplistic visual style is actually very important to the gameplay of Railroute because every single space on the table is a buildable location. The more things you add into a smaller location, the more complex the gameplay actually becomes, so keeping the visual clutter simple is very important. It's a sign that the Railroad devs have a solid grasp on the overall goal of the game and what should be drawing you in. Even the smallest animations fit right in without being over the top and giving you constructive feedback. Is it flashy or fancy? No, but it fits what it should be trying to do perfectly. For visuals, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Great for the most part, but I think they could use a little bit of love, adding some nice backdrops to a few of the stations and the title menu. Next, we'll move on to audio. While graphically the game does a fantastic job, the only thing remarkable about the audio for me is that Railroute has pretty decent voice acting.
Hold the mouse button to move the screen, or, if you prefer, you can use the arrow keys.
The audio in the game is mostly focused on clicks and toggles, and continues the minimalistic approach. What few sound effects are in the game are done very well, but it really leaves something else to be desired. Music would be a beautiful way to add some extra ambiance to the world that it's just severely lacking. The game has peaceful music for the front menu and some very light music for the game itself, but none of it is very memorable when it even is noticeable. At certain points in the game, I even noticed that music had stopped entirely and eventually found myself putting on a soundtrack from something else to fill the void. The two saving graces for the audio in the game is that the sound effects matched the task I was trying to accomplish very well, and the voice acting for the narrator and his evil corporate rival were actually done with high quality recording devices and implemented well. Overall for audio, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Good in some areas, lacking in others, but overall very middle of the pack and uninspiring. And gameplay is where the bulk of the game does very well. It strikes a good balance between making you feel like a train dispatcher and simultaneously giving you the tools to grow into a corporate megalomaniac. With a large abundance of skills, construction tools that can be used to automate a lot of the dispatching, the game eventually gets to the point where you are stretching your creative freedom to build simplistic routes. This comes in the form of contracts that require you to go from location A to location B, and sometimes locations C, D, and E. If you don't learn to automate some of the options quickly, you will soon find yourself overwhelmed trying to flip a bunch of switches manually. The tutorial for learning to play the game does a relatively good job at helping you understand the basics, but once you start branching out to the new technology upgrades, it quickly becomes confusing and difficult. They have a help menu that comes with each skill, and a basic tutorial you can load that helps give you a small understanding of each upgrade. Unfortunately, even after doing the upgrade tutorials for each skill, it's not very apparent when each one can be utilized best. My only other main gripe comes with the game is that the map never changes. I tried playing through the first map 3 different times, and each time the contracts I received and the locations of everything on the map were exactly the same. This can lead to problems with replayability because there's always going to be a most efficient way to do things. Once you've become familiar with endless mode, the scenarios are a great way to mix up the pace of the game though. Sometimes it's as simple as flipping switches in a small area to get trains from one location to another. Other times you might have to build tracks on the fly between rounds. It's a good mix to the gameplay and one that did offer a bit of randomness when replaying the challenges that made them more fun in my opinion. Overall, for gameplay, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It's simple, clean, and does a great job of scratching my itch for infrastructure games similar to Stellaris and Game Dev Tycoon. My overall impression was much better than I anticipated. A little bit about me, I don't care for trains. Not one bit. They're uninteresting and uninspiring to me. Yet even with zero interest, I went in with an open mind and was pleasantly surprised by the game I found. So I give the game an overall rating of 7 out of 10. That's only my personal rating though, and if you love trains and the idea of being a conductor, you will probably enjoy the game more than I did. I ended up getting about 12 hours of gameplay out of this title, but I didn't spend much time trying to build an empire. I wouldn't be surprised to hear people who love trains and love conducting easily spending upwards of 30 to 70 hours playing Railroute. If this game is something you're interested out in playing, they are releasing their 1.0 release today on Steam. You can go and pick it up for 25% off. The game is normally $25. The 25% off is a great time to pick it up. Other than that, that's all we've got for today. If you want to see more reviews, guides, or other YouTube content, please like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. And until next time, y'all, take it easy.